Recording in progress. I'm gonna say it. Go ahead.
This is the first time that I haven't said anything about it. So let me start off.
Okay.
Welcome to Lawless. I'm Justin. This is my buddy Clayton, and we're just a couple pretty fly guys.
Couple flight homies.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up, brother?
Oh, nothing. Today is the extra special Thanksgiving
Yeah,
episode.
gobble gobble, mother. That's that. I should have queued up a turkey
Mm,
sound on the soundboard, but honestly, that was pretty good.
yeah.
I could just record you and make it a soundboard.
I could gobble. I
Yeah,
could
you
get
can.
I get a Jake to call me out in the woods. Uh,
So this is the last episode before Thanksgiving, or no? We'll probably drop this at Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna have this. The guns are gonna be loaded. The chamber's ready. The hammer's cocked. We're in condition one for you
Okay,
military types out there.
I
We're in
like it.
condition one, condition red. Some of you. Um, we're ready to go. It's gonna hit at midnight on Thanksgiving morning.
And that's something to be thankful for.
That's
As
something to
you
be thankful.
as you go around the Thanksgiving table, and it might sound something kind of like this.
Mhm.
Grandma's gonna lean in and she's gonna say, "Clayton, baby,
Yeah,
what are you
Granny.
what are you thankful for this year?
Oh, Granny. I'm thankful for many, many things.
What are you thankful for, Clayton?"
I'm thankful for this giblet gravy.
Mm-mm.
I'm thankful for them yams.
Yes, you are.
And I'm thankful for Lawless Podcast with Justin and Clayton that dropped at midnight this morning.
I'm not gonna lie. I might get a job. I might get a job doing. I'll at least probably get a job offer. I'm not.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean that was, dude. That was pretty smooth on the
Yeah,
transitions.
you're with
Uh,
it.
would that be like a sound engineer? Probably. Is that what I'm not? Is that what I'm not? I'm now qualified for.
Yeah, dude, start printing some business cards. Start printing some business cards.
Yeah. Uh,
Do you
you know.
remember that DJ I busted with the dope in his speakers? He kept saying, "I'm a DJ. You can check my speakers." No, 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 no. I'm a DJ. He was my meth guy. He was
Oh,
driving from LA to Wichita to start his own DJ business because as one does, will leave the big city of Los Angeles to drive to
yeah,
Wichita, Kansas.
yeah. Get and have a party full of tweaked out EDM fans.
But he did have a CD, like an album. He was like, "You can check my speakers. You can like look, I got an album."
So he told you, and this honestly doesn't surprise me. I think it would probably surprise most people, but he told you to check the speakers, even though it was in the speakers.
That was his initial con. He actually initially gave me consent whenever I first questioned him. I'm like, "Hey, do you have anything that you're not supposed to have in here?" He was like, "No, I'm a DJ. I got speakers in the back. You can check." Like he wanted me to know that he's got speakers to he's a
Listen,
DJ.
I'm not hauling dope. You can check all of these hidden compartments.
Yeah. I even said something along the lines of, "Thank you, Victor. We'll come back to that." Like, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll go back to that.
I don't honestly. I apologize. That doesn't ring a bell. What I
Uh,
thought you were going to say is, and I know you guys didn't bust them, but when we had that Burning Man, supposed Burning Man festival,
Hell
that
yeah, dude.
I wasn't there. I was kind of bummed that I wasn't there. I was supposed to be. That was back when I was undercover,
Uh-huh.
and we were supposed to infiltrate it. Now, mind you, even back then, I didn't really give a shit about anything that would have been happening at this Wichita Burning Man.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to be there. I kind of wanted to like
I was
check it
there.
out. Yeah, I know you were, and I remember that there was a DJ, and you did not bust him, but that's where my mind went when you talked about busting a DJ.
No, yeah, no, I didn't. Uh, I sang karaoke at the Burning Man. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did one of the very first episodes.
Maybe the first episode.
I'm trying to remember what the song was. Give
The
me a
sw-
hint. Don't tell me.
the
Oh, Weezer, the sweater
Weezer.
song.
Yeah, the sweater
Yeah,
song.
yeah. Would you mind hitting a couple bars for us?
If you want to destroy my sweater, whoa,
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 whoa.
whoa. Pull this thread as I walk away. As I
As I walk
walk
away.
away. Watch me unravel.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
We're good.
Take a note. Take a hint.
Hey, just if at all possible, let's see if we can pinpoint the followers before this episode
Uh-huh.
and the followers after.
After this
See
episode.
if anybody deconstructs from us just due to
Check the
this
unfollower
scenario.
numbers. You know,
Yeah,
I don't like seeing the unfollower numbers every time I check it. You know, it doesn't mean anything, but I just want to
it just
know if that number.
it
I just
just means
imagine I'm like, who was that from
we're just getting
23
more
to
of
24? Who was that?
we're just getting rid of dead weight, you know.
Well, let me go over the outline of this episode because we're trying to get our act in order. We're a couple years
That's
in
true.
here. We're putting more of an effort into the actual production of Lawless.
Yeah, which is
Um,
why I took the job of sound engineer.
yes, notice sound engineer. Um, on this Thanksgiving episode, um, first I'm I'm gonna ask you how your week's been. I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes to check in with my homeboy. If nothing, that's fine. We're gonna move along. I'm gonna be introducing three new segments, and just briefly, I'm gonna describe them. We'll dive into them as we go, but it's going to include our um, podcast email, podcastlawless@gmail.com, our podcast email, where the listeners will participate in this. This is called community segments. These three segments are community segments. The first one, like I said, we'll dive into them later, is Lawless Confessionals. That's where the writers are gonna write in.
So we're not having to confess anything.
Or
We're
we could be
can
in the
we
hot seat.
are we able to absolve of sins?
Yes,
Oh, sweet.
that's the point of this. This is a church experience, okay?
Hell yeah, it is.
You can confess anything. We're gonna dive into it, but anything from a white lie to as deep as you want to go, and the anonymity is built in. You're as anonymous as you want to be. We're going to break it down without judgment and maybe
Word.
cast some wisdom, maybe not, maybe some guidance, maybe just observe. Maybe you just need someone to hear you, and that's what we'll be in that instance. Next community segment is going to be Lawless Bible Study. That is where either a listener will write in, or Justin and I, or maybe T Bone, or we might get a write in from Original Influencer Dan Hartley and a guest. And we're going to be breaking down a verse, a Bible story, a tradition, a dogma. And what we're going to do is we're going to deconstruct it, Lawless style. We can address what it was back then, maybe point out the absurdity, maybe take its power away, maybe apply it to today, maybe redeem it, if you will, maybe cast some new light on it. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Not all this
Yep.
stuff is poison. That's going to be Lawless Bible Study, another community segment. Like I said, we're going to break this down later. Third community segment, and then we're going to be moving on, is the Badass University. There's been enough bummers in the world today, enough fucking bummers in the news feed, enough fucking bummers just in the ether to where that's fine if that's what you're looking for, but that's not what Badass University is. We're going to
No.
be talking about Medal of Honor recipients. We're going to be talking about firefighters that kick in the window. We're going to be talking about rescue swimmers. We're going to be talking about cops that save the day. This is going to be stories of and breakdowns of where the good guy wins. Okay?
Do you know why we can talk about badassery? Because we're
Uh,
dog. Because we're doctors of
Yeah, I
badassery.
was about to say because we're fucking experts in it, son.
We are doctors,
Yeah.
not like real doctors, doctors of badassery, like a like an honorary doctorate.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that I give to you, you give to me.
Right. Like I said, it's kind of like sound engineer. Is you just make some business cards.
Yeah, hell
Dude,
yeah.
Doctor Badass. Paging Doctor Badass.
Blackwood.
Badass Crafton, Badass Blackwood. Um, then we're going to talk about, and I'm going to be looking some of this up in real time, but the Thanksgiving story. We can go over, maybe we can just go over what we know, and I can pull some sources of some alternative history that I know, and we can cite some sources. The Thanksgiving story, as far as like the Puritans and the Separatists, who those were, the people that we call pilgrims, the native people that they met at Plymouth Rock. Um, maybe
Oh,
some alt.
everyone pilgrim.
Yeah.
Like John Wayne.
Howdy, Pilgrim. I do say howdy. I think a lot of people say howdy, but maybe not everybody says howdy.
Well, they don't all say it right. I'll tell you that much. Because if you don't say it right, you sound like a real tool. But if you
Oh,
say, but if you say it, if you own it, you
yeah.
know,
Howdy.
especially if you throw pilgrim, howdy
Oh,
pilgrim.
howdy, Pilgrim. That
That
is a level.
that's something that I learned in my studies of being a badass.
Okay, right. Right. That's in the level you bring. Um, thank you for that. We're gonna be going over the Thanksgiving story. And if we got time, and I think we will have time, we can sprinkle in some current events. And there's a couple big stories I want to hit on in current events. Just to tease you, so you can stick around toward the end, we're going to be hitting on the Epstein files disclosure. Yay, yay. Epstein file disclosure. We're going to be hitting on Trump sucks dicks.
Just 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 to throw this out there, can you imagine the turmoil? First off, like especially now that it's been released, but if you knew that this was hovering over you all these years
Why was he
and
fighting it so bad?
people are still talking about this creep, like literally you want to be like, hey guys, move on, let's talk about Mexico or something.
Yeah.
Like, can we
Can I
please,
start a war somewhere for us to talk about it?
right, let's just stop.
Um,
Proceed.
no, 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 that's fine. Remember that energy. And the last thing we're gonna hit on before we close, maybe before our closing thoughts, is uh, bitch ass, punk ass, ratchet ass Mitch McConnell took $900,000, not even $900,000. It was like 800 and some change from Jack Daniels lobby, the alcohol lobby. He snuck it in that budget to get the government running again. He snuck it in there to outlaw all THC or CBD hemp products in general. All hemp products are now outlawed under this thing because he snuck it in there and he didn't get $1 million. He didn't even get 900. He got less than $900,000.
I don't even have a sound for that on my soundboard.
Punk ass, ratchet ass, bitch ass Mitch McConnell. Tennessee, be ashamed.
How is he still in office?
He
Has the
is, I mean, he is the swamp. He was the never Trumper.
has there been an election since he had those meltdowns or whatever he had, like where he
I
just kind
don't
of
know.
power, so, like he had a hard reset mid
I don't know.
conversation.
I remember that. We can look that up. Um, Justin, my friend, my brother,
Yes,
how
sir.
how's life? How's everything going?
Man, I've been having a good week. We're halfway through the week, and this is my first week back from my trip in Colorado.
Yeah.
And as I've talked to you about it, I've really tried to incorporate some new daily habits, some daily
Okay.
rituals.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't, that include meditation and gratitude and yoga and just more mindfulness. Because as you know, Clayton, I've become a real hippie. I Aside from the fact that I still I think keep pretty good hygiene. I'm just kind of doing my own thing, um, spiritually, mentally, like really diving into it. And so I've been doing that in the morning, and I don't know how to. This may be encouraging for some people. I don't know. I don't know how to meditate, but I know how to be quiet,
Yeah.
and I know how to. I'm learning how to still my thoughts and how to just let my thoughts come and go, and
Yes.
not try to manage them. And I don't know how to do yoga, but I know how to stretch, and I know what my body. I can listen to my body for how where it's holding tension and how to how I can release it. And there are videos. I've tried watching videos, and I've tried doing a couple different apps, and honestly, I just kind of enjoy doing like mixing
Freestyling.
some, yeah, kind of freestyling, mixing some of the things that I've learned, some of the things that just kind of come to mind in the moment.
Uh-huh.
It's probably not yoga at all. Who knows? But it feels good, and it's a good way to start my morning. And
Man, some
it's
downward dogs into the cat cows and the cobra, like a downward dog from a dive bomber into that cobra thing will straighten your back out. That
uh,
makes my back feel so good. And then throw in some cat cows in there.
a program that I did, and maybe I still do. Maybe I'll do it. That I wanted to try was the Diamond Dallas Page
Oh
DDP.
yeah, yeah, DDP
Did
yoga.
Did you watch the documentary on that? I think it was called Resurrecting Jake the Snake, or it was about Jake the Snake. I don't remember if it was
N-
resurrecting or
No, I didn't, but I kind of had a front row seat when that was going on because he kicked that off on an Adam Carolla podcast of all things. And he talked about how Jake the Snake was basically going through a self-administered rehab in his house. And he was wheelchair bound, couldn't move,
yeah.
all this stuff. And DDP started, was like, well, what the hell can you do? And started doing yoga. And that DDP yoga took off from there.
I think I'm not going to mess with it. I was going to Google it real quick, but I think it might be called The Resurrection of
Okay.
Jake the Snake. But it's a good documentary, and it's well worth watching. But so what's funny, and again, maybe encouraging to some, maybe call me out as a poser to others, but so I'll start the morning like that, and I'll be listening to my hippie music, and I'll just be at one with the universe. And a car will do something I don't think they should, and I'll be like, "Fuck you!" And then I have to come back,
Yeah.
recalibrate, recenter. Just because I start my morning out right doesn't mean that my
Yeah.
mid morning is going to go right, or my afternoon is going to go right, or the rest of the day. But at the end of the day, it, you know, I'm just trying to make it right at the end of the day, start out right at the beginning of the day. And then, throughout as you mess up, as I often do, just kind of recalibrate as
You know,
needed.
we hit on this kind of jokingly, tongue in cheek, a little bit on the last episode, but I mean, it's true too, is that we have not yet arrived. Like we're on this journey of trying to, get some sort of handle on mental health, some sort of handle on physical health, some sort of handle on life. But we're not, even though we do have our doctorate in badassery,
Right?
we don't yet have a doctorate of everything. We're still on the path.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And the path is unfolding and changing. And sometimes it's not, sometimes you think you know where it's going, and sometimes it changes, and you just kind of roll with it.
dude,
The,
I got really hot. Oh, go ahead.
the very last thing I'll say about how my week's going this week is I've started working out with my son and two of his friends every day after school,
Okay.
which has been pretty
Where
cool.
at?
Planet Fitness down in Derby.
Okay. Okay.
So
Pushing some weights.
yeah, and again, it's only Wednesday, but 3 days in a row. Tomorrow is going to be cardio, and then I'm not sure. Friday is going to be more of a freestyle, but yeah, I'm real proud of these boys. They're committed. They're working hard and getting me in the gym too.
Good, good, awesome.
How about you?
Uh,
How's your week going?
Pretty good, pretty good. We have, just kind of normal life stuff. There's always a fire to put out. And it's funny because these fires, it can be anything, a flat tire, someone overdrew their credit card, someone cracked their phone, something like this. It can be this all-consuming thing where it'll take up your day and you're like, oh, she broke her phone. What are we gonna do? Like I can't. And then as soon
Make
as
some
it's,
more shit.
yeah. But what's funny is as soon as it's taken care of, you're like, oh, it's like that never even existed. You're like, oh, that had no power over me at all. It just
Yeah.
kind of it reaffirms that like the only power any stressful situation has over you is the power you give it.
Word. If I was, I'm gonna have to work on the soundboard because that needed a sound. That needed
That
a mic
needed,
drop.
but what would it be? Yeah, sucker. No, but that was just something that we've been noticing in our in life lately. Something I was gonna say, I thought I had was I don't know. I was kind of just flowing in this stream of consciousness earlier, just thinking of this thought of like if this is a simulation or even if simulation is just another name for a consciousness, a greater consciousness that you plug back into, like you take the headset off after death versus take this meat suit off after death. We're kind of saying the same thing. um
Yeah.
like if I were playing a game and there, I kind of like some of these like Elden Ring or Assassin's Creed, these big map, multi-option kind of role-playing game worlds where you have lots of options of things to do.
Is that called open world?
Yeah, yeah, open
Okay.
world where you can go to the main mission or you have all these side quests and you kind of have a couple different main missions going on at the same time. Well, if I spent 70 to 90, if I live a really, really good life, if I live 90 plus years, and I take the headset off at the end, I take the VR meat suit off at the end, am I going, what is going to be the main mission of that game? What am I going to say I did good in that game? Is it going to be how many tokens I got? Is it going to be how much I worked at the 9 to 5 part from 19 to 55? Is it going to be that? Or is it going to be relationships? Is it going to be battles? Is it going to be journeys? Is it going to be obstacles overcome? Is it going to be lessons learned? Like, if you're evaluating if you're doing a good job in life or not, if I'm where I'm supposed to be, a- am I just wasting my time? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Think about it as if this is kind of I'm describing, there's other words for this, but just an aspect of mindfulness, of detachment, of giving yourself some space between you and the emotion, you and the emotion of what's going on. Is the point of this game to go to 9 to 5 to go to my 9 to 5 to get the most tokens, to get the best truck, to get the best car, to get the best cell phone, to get the best TV, to get my kids to the best school? Is that the point of this game? So my kids can have the best clothes, even so my kids can go? Or is it relationships? Is it lessons learned? Is it obstacles overcome? Is it journeys? Like, what would you rather see in a movie? What would you rather experience in a game? Would you rather be the guy in, and that's what's the beauty of it too, is in these big open worlds, you can do anything and you get to pick and choose your own journey.
Yeah. That makes me think of, there's a couple things that makes me think of immediately. The first, I think I talked to you about this, or maybe I just thought about talking to you about it. Imagine if, like, you remember Jumanji, the movie?
Yeah.
There might be a second. I'm not sure if there's a second one or not, but the one I'm thinking of is has Jack Black in it.
Okay.
And so there's this party of, I think, five, maybe four, and each of them, each of the characters have some sort of skill or strength, or they're in the game. You would choose a healer, you would choose an explorer, maybe. I don't know if this is that game, but in a game, you would choose a warrior, you would choose a doctor, whatever it is. What, and you don't have to answer this on the spot, is something I think is interesting to think about. What would your character be? Like, would you be a healer? Would you be a defender? Would you be a whatever the, have you thought about that?
Man, I don't know if there's a version of this in the Jumanji translation, but in Native American, I might have sent you a podcast about this months ago, so I don't expect you to remember it. But in a lot of different Native American mythologies, there's this character called the coyote, and
Yeah, okay. That was in the Four Agreements, wasn't it?
yeah, it might have been in the Four Agreements because it's kind. They have a Toltec. It was in the one I sent you was uh oh shucks, I can't remember. Dan Flores in Wild America, his podcast on Bear Grease.
Yeah,
But
it sounds familiar.
um yeah, there's this kind of like they would say it's an archetype, definitely an archetype, but he was in like their pantheon. He's even their creator god, even though he doesn't take that role as like the father or the head of the pantheon. He kind of creates the universe and then throws it away of like, take it or leave it. I don't really care. I'm gonna go off and play with my ball.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. Um, that's the one I would like to be. He's kind of like a Joker. Like I don't know. I don't know, to get lost in the weeds with it. The coyote, that
This,
archetype of the coyote is what I would like to be, my character.
okay. The second thing that came to mind was you were talking about the mindful aspect of separating yourself from the emotion. Do you remember? So first off, Pete Holmes on Rain Wilson's Soul Boom podcast. It's the one specifically where it was live. He freaking gets it, man.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes, he freaking gets it. I love his perspective. But he turned me on to a guy named Rupert Spira, and Rupert
Okay.
Spira wrote. I think he's written several books, but the one that I listened to it twice, and I bought the the physical book. It was so good. He talks about that we are not what's projected on the screen. We are the screen.
Yeah.
And so what's projected on the screen is I'm fucking pissed. I'm angry. I'm whatever. But that's not me.
Yeah.
You're the screen. You're reflecting whatever you've got going on, but that's not you. The
Yeah.
natural state of the screen, and again, I'm saying this after I wanted to get in a full blown fist fight, over somebody's driving.
Uh-huh.
But still, like, I'm not that anger. That's not
Right.
me. I'm the screen reflecting that.
Yeah. But I mean, does that give you permission to not take responsibility of your actions though?
No, not at all. But it tells me that at the end of the day, that I'm not a piece of shit.
Right.
I just got some stuff to work on.
Yeah.
My natural state
Yes.
is love and peace. And I think it's Rupert Spira said it, that just like water can't get more wet, you can't become more love. You've
Yeah.
just got to remove the obstacles. You've got to clear the path, remove whatever's in the way. You
Man,
can't
that's
become more
beautiful.
peace. You are peace.
That's great. Um, okay. Everywhere you are listening to this, at whatever platform you are, please take this moment to like, heart, stars, whatever it is, give a thumbs up this episode. The more engagement, the better. It helps us spread these ideas. You hear this deep shit we're talking about?
Deep shit.
Are you picking up what we're laying down? If you want to help us get this message out, put a comment in there. that's going to be even more helpful later on when I get into this. Um, do we have anything that we need to hit on before I move along?
Just some Laughing Goat coffee.
Laughing Goat Coffee. Dude,
Yeah,
did you see that?
that was cool.
That's a pretty good ad. Laughing Goat Coffee is a veteran-owned coffee company. A guy that was in Riverine Squadron 2 with me. We weren't in at the same time. He was in the plank owner, the group that started it, like in '07 is when they started this. I was in another command. When I got there, he had already moved on, but uh yeah, he got out. He recently retired from the Navy, and this is his company. They're partners with us in the podcast. Check out, I
And
think it's
I was gonna say, where can we get it?
laughinggoat.net. Laughinggoat.net.
Very cool.
Okay. That brings us to I'm going to introduce these community segments. As when I say community segments, I mean these are segments that are going to be community interactive. Now, if need be, Justin and I can float the first couple episodes. Or
We can float the first one, but if need be, we'll call some people out.
exactly.
Like
That's what we're gonna do.
there's a couple guys named Scott that I haven't heard from in a little while,
Mm-hmm.
and
Couple
both of
Scots.
them, couple Scots, and I might call you out if I don't hear from you.
That's right. So that what and how the community is going to be interacting with us is through the podcast email, which is podcastlawless@gmail.com. It's not rocket surgery. I get it. It's not exactly.
You know, an easy way to remember that is it's not Lawless Podcast. It's just backwards. It's
Yeah,
Podcast Lawless.
podcastlawless@gmail.com.
There, there, you'll remember it.
Now you got it. You're going to be writing into that. And the first segment is going to be, and we're working with this right now. Nothing's inked in. If my main man Justin has a suggestion, we can change it. Or as the river flows, we're getting pretty zen around here. As the river flows, we can change it. But right now, this is what Lawless Confessionals, Lawless Confessionals. This is what Lawless Confessionals is going to be. Imagine a safe place to, brother, get it off your chest. Confess before the Lord, confess before your brothers. Just get it off your chest. Take this burden off. And as anonymous as you want to be, this is going to go to the podcast email. Um, you can make a burner email account if you want
Let me
to.
just tell you this: we ain't no snitches.
We ain't no snitches. Don't
We
you
ain't about
worry.
that life. Yes.
And yeah, this is all fictional anyway, Mr. NSA. This is all
That's right.
hypothetical. Um, but yeah, a safe place for you to say something along the lines of, you know what, I stole a piece of candy from my little brother when I was 8 years old, and I want to confess that. Or I cheated on my taxes. Or I stole an air conditioner unit and scrapped it and scrapped the metal for meth money, and I'm now hopefully in recovery.
Yeah.
Maybe you were in recovery and you had some wild stories. Maybe you're a veteran, or maybe you're in law enforcement. Maybe, like everyone, you just had a wild fucking life. And I bet you have had a wild fucking life, and you might have been in some wild fucking things, and you want a place to safely get it off your chest.
Yes. We're here for you.
We're here for you.
Rest, weary traveler.
Rest where we have things to provide, right, J-Dub?
We do.
We have wisdom. We
Oh,
have
whew. I thought you were gonna be like, we have confessions we can make.
well, I
Did you feel the tightness in my voice when I was like, we
so
do? Yes.
so this is your opportunity. Did you have something you maybe
I if this hasn't come up yet in my kids, it's going to come up, I'm sure, at some point for my children in therapy somewhere down the road. Something I used to like to do, especially, well, I guess it was when I was a cop, and so they were probably 12, 12 and 9-ish when I was a detective. And I used to be like, hey, sit down. We need to talk. I know, I know what you've been doing, and go through the whole thing. And depending on what I got, I'd be like, I'm just kidding with you. But yeah, I enjoyed. That was kind of an asshole move, but it was always fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? You might have been preparing them.
But
You might have been giving them a future skill.
I was a good detective, by the way,
Yeah.
because of the ability and this. I don't know how this will translate. The ability to listen to people, even like legitimately talk about some bad shit without judging.
Yeah.
And I know the reason I even hesitate as well. It's kind of like, no, you're literally somebody's going to judge them. Like you're going to arrest them based on their confession. But even in that environment, I think that just being like, even I guess even if they do, even if they are judged, even if they committed a crime, it doesn't mean that that doesn't mean they're a piece of shit. It doesn't mean they're
No.
a bad person. They're a good person that did some bad things.
Yeah.
And that's the energy we're going to bring to these confessions.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's going to be I would say no judge, but maybe just a feather's touch of just the maybe the judgment you need to hear. Like, hey
Yeah,
brother, hey
that was
sister,
dumb.
maybe you need to rethink the way you need to change some thinking. But
Yeah.
it's not going to be condemnation. There is no condemnation here. We're not going to be sending your soul anywhere.
Maybe it'll be a little bit like, come as you are.
Come as you are.
Now, now change.
No,
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 it won't be that.
no,
Okay.
no, none of that. It's going to be come as you are, stay as you are. We're going to give you something, take it or leave it.
There you go.
We're going to give
Okay.
you a little something, take it or leave it.
I can get down
Um,
with that.
that's Lawless Confessionals. Yeah, I think that's going to give people a pretty good outlet. You
I
know,
like it.
podcastlawless@gmail.com. Next is, we might even have some ready queued up for this, the Lawless Bible Study. Lawless Bible Study is going to be you, the listener, write in, and I think definitely J Dub, myself, this can be a TPOC segment. This can be a good guest segment. Um, we as a community are going to introduce the Bible verse or the Bible story that you might have a problem with. Maybe this is the one that rubbed you the wrong way.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let's dive in, let's dive into this if you're prepared or even if you're not prepared.
Okay.
What one story or Bible verse or new understanding did you get that was the straw that, I would say, the straw that broke the camel's back? But again, just to reiterate, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So that's not to say you're like, oh, this is bullshit. But was there a verse or a story that was kind of the missing piece to make you think, I think it's not what I thought it was.
Well, man, going along something that the original Sinfluencer said that I think you and I both resonated with because we've said different versions of this. But he said that he was maybe deconstructing from the moment he got saved because he was looking for loopholes and he found this contradiction there and this thing didn't add up. So he was constantly negotiating his salvation as soon as he got it. Um, when I was at peak, at very peak holiness, at very peak Pentecostal Church of God kid, I was maybe 16, 17 years old. There was a story in the Bible about um, God coming to Elijah as a still small voice. And man, I was doing everything right. I was I was checking all the boxes. I was not doing the things I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was really playing the game, man. I was not doing the things I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was doing the things I was supposed to be doing. I thought I had all the Pentecostal powers, all the plus ups, you know. I thought I was doing it good, and I really wanted God to just say something. Like I was in my backyard and I was like, blow, like give me a breeze, make a bird chirp, give me something that I can say God spoke to me. Like if we agree that I'm talking to you and you're hearing me and you care enough of me to even we say that you make the world turn around and you are literally pulling all the levers and making everything go. If I'm worth enough to you to make a bird chirp, do that. Make a cricket do something. And there was nothing. Not one thing happened. And to the point to where like I drug it out. I'm like, maybe something? No.
Did you feel that?
No. And I had to that was a big watershed moment that I had to honestly pretend like didn't happen. Like my it was never the same after that. I can go
Yeah.
back to that now and realize it was never the same after that. But yeah, God talking to Elijah with a still small voice. I thought, man, master of the universe, creator of all, we create this position and then we superimpose and anthropomorphize everything that we want on the superposition to be the superposition. Be like, well, I want you to be this big vending machine in the sky. And if you're not going to give me chocolate sprinkles when I want chocolate sprinkles, then
Yeah.
what
For
about you?
me, well, for me, it was when now I'd been down this path, been going down this path for a while. Well, I really, really started, I would say, deconstructing with Love Wins and Hell. But I think, and that was back in 2008, I think. And then probably really started picking up speed in just the last year and a half, probably maybe 2 years. I was again listening to not reading, but listening to a book by Peter Ince called The Evolution of Adam.
Uh-huh.
And I had I had been we were a young earth 7 day 6 day creation, like literal biblical account.
You thought
Talk
the world was 6,000 years old.
Yeah, we had to. And I don't know why. I don't know why that.
That was biblical
Well,
math.
I don't even know. Is that what it is? Like counting the generations or something?
Yeah, like a very literal translation. And even then, if you listen to like Daniel McClellan and other academics, they'll say it's not even a real understanding of what the Bible's actually saying. Like that is a very American translation of the King James version of the calendar.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make total sense. But so we were a very like literal interpretation, and I was listening to that book, and the thing of all of the things that just kind of made me kind of cast my vote was talking about the flood and all of the different flood accounts. And it could probably be explained in a way that I could look at it and say, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The thing is that's just what started the ball rolling. That's not what my entire deconstruction is based on. That's just that was the final piece that started that ball rolling.
Right.
That was the thing for me. Um, I was talking to my brother last week about. Do you know who Ken Ham is?
Can ham?
Ken Ham. Yeah, he's. I
Uh-uh.
think he's Australian, maybe from New Zealand. I think he's Australian, and he's the guy that his thing is answers in Genesis, and
Okay.
just an example of how kind of silly the positions are. The book is like really like this is all creation versus evolution debates all summed up in a book about
Oh
this
yeah.
big paperback, and
Yeah.
we were
Very
laughing about
authoritative.
the fact that growing up, I believed carbon dating was a hoax
Yeah, it was a myth.
because of a paragraph written by Ken Ham in his Answers in Genesis book. And I don't remember what it said, but essentially it was something like carbon dating is wildly inaccurate and untrustworthy. The Bible says this. And then the next section. Like there may have been more to it, I don't know, but there was not very much defense of why this specific type of dating is so faulty, and therefore the earth is 6,000 years old.
Hmm.
That was the those were the stories that were the final straw for me.
I just got done with a book that you would have had a real problem with back then. It
Yep.
was called The Seven Daughters of Eve. Have you ever heard of it?
No, but it sounds blasphemous.
Yeah, it already sounds blasphemous. It is a English biologist who is actually, I don't believe he's a Nobel Prize winner, but he won lots of, he's very esteemed and very accredited. Um, while I'm doing this, I can pause this. I should mention his name now since I'm going on and on about this.
I'm going to pause it.
Seven Daughters of Eve by researcher Brian Sykes. And yeah, what he did was him and his team were on the cutting edge of sequencing the DNA, the human DNA back in the day. And what his team did is they learned how to deconstruct it from both ends. Like deconstructing a strand of DNA took weeks. It was very intensive, like for these teams, because they did it from like point A to point Z. Well, his team learned how to do it from A to Z and from Z to A simultaneously, and it allowed them to basically they were able to do that twice on like to do it in a quarter of the time is what this technique allowed them to do. Anyway, Seven Daughters of Eve talks about the seven basically very primordial genetic traits that and it goes back in all of the matriarchal, the feminine, the mother side lines to like all of our earliest ancestors goes back to these seven distinct kind of genetic groups, and the next common ancestor that they have goes back tens of thousands of years, and it would be this Eve type figure, like this kind of before you'd think like before the people that before they got to Mesopotamia, the people leaving Africa, that would be like the Eve generation. These are
Okay.
the people that split out from there, the seven kind of genetic types, the seven daughters of Eve. And anyway, he yeah, I can see how that timeline would not match up with an independent
Yeah,
fundamentalist Bible believing.
we got 6,000 years to squeeze all this stuff in. Let's cut out the middle, and
Yeah.
let's just start here.
Yeah.
And then we can skip, the generations that have to do with, whoever was going to kill Cain for killing his brother.
Yeah.
We can skip the generations that had to have been involved for all of these kids to, like, where did these people come from?
Yeah.
Like, are these all from their mom? Anyway,
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's details. I mean, we you have to at some point you have to come back and say it's kind of ridiculous for people to take that literal, right? Like, was it ever
well,
intended?
I don't think so. But if you're not going to be willing to say that that's crazy, you at least have to be willing to say, okay, well then the idea that we came from what is Zoroastrianism. There's some wild creation stories that clearly are stories because
Uh-huh.
we would say that that's absurd.
Yeah.
Obviously, a flower didn't give birth to a frog that gave birth to a whatever. That's silly. Okay, but so is a talking snake, and so is
Yeah.
humanity's soul resting on an apple.
Well, and there's two different creation stories in the book of Genesis, but one of them is a guy stumbling through the woods that makes a clay figure and then breathes life into them. That's a pretty silly story too.
It, yeah, but if maybe I'm getting off track here. If you look at it for what it is, a story of humanity, a story of how we got here, a story that explains awareness of who we are, what we are, that
Yeah.
kind of explains why we do what we don't want to do,
Yeah.
why, it explains a lot if you can let it.
There's so many lessons in there.
Yeah, unless you have to say, well, no, there was
It's
a
literal.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
You
If you
lived
can
hard.
if you can let it say I think what it's trying to say, then there's a lot of beauty in it.
Right, right, right. If you take your own restraints, your own dogmatic handcuffs off of it and let the word be the word, you know, you don't have to have a judgment of it. You don't have to land anywhere. You can just let it be.
Yep, you can just float.
That and much, much more is coming in the Lawless Bible Study. So send in your verses, send in your topics, send in your Bible stories. You want to talk about the walls of Jericho? We'll talk about the walls of Jericho.
I'll just throw this out there too that
Go
I
ahead.
am respectful of those that still believe.
Yeah.
And while we're making kind of poking fun at it, um, it, it I can't say that we won't make fun of it because I make fun of Clayton and he's my favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
So we may make fun of it, but it's in good heart. It's in good nature.
There is no sacred cow here, but we're not looking to offend. I think that's safe to say.
There's a sacred cow here,
There is a sacred cow.
right in front of you.
There
You
is
might
nothing.
you
If
might
it,
call it an idol.
you could, you idolater, you. If if one thing's on the table, I think everything has to be on the table, and I agree to that. I think that's fair. But we're not looking to offend. I'm not going out of my way to up my unfollow numbers.
Yeah, we're trying to minimize that if at all
We're trying to
possible.
minimize that.
So even if you don't listen to us anymore, you don't just
You don't have to unfollow.
stick around. You don't have to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, whatever. Send in a comment. You want us to change? Send in a comment, a concern, a critique, if you will, madam.
Yeah, yeah, but don't
Podcast
leave.
Lawless. Don't leave. Stick around.
Yeah.
Baby, baby, please. Next, we can break this down. We can go into the weeds if you like. I don't know if I have any stories on cue, but it's just a finger stroke away with the keyboard. Hello. Badass University, the community segment, the listener involved segment. You can send in your topic and we can do some research, or maybe you can send in the whole story and we'll break it down on here. But I kind of gave away a little bit of who we want to talk about. J Dubs, what comes to mind with the figures or the type of person that would be in Badass University in your mind, do you think?
Well, I'll just tell you a couple, maybe three or four badasses from 4 days ago.
Okay.
There were Okay, so it was a total of four. It was one Kansas Highway Patrol and three Osage County deputies were shot on November 15th in the morning. They were responding to domestic violence in Osage County, and
Holy shit.
there was gunfire exchange. The suspect is deceased, but all three, or rather all four, officers are recovering and in the hospital. And those are some badasses.
Yeah.
They rose to the occasion. They did what had to be done, and they sacrificed themselves. They put on the uniform that morning, willing to maybe not come home. And I applaud them and I wish them well.
I guarantee out of all four of them, none of them had the same exact theological beliefs. I bet none of them had the same exact political beliefs, even just out of the four people, out of them four. You know what I mean? They all had different background, they all had different upbringing. They probably all came from, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that they all came from different geographical places. They probably weren't all from Osage County. Um, but they all put on their uniform that day and willing, if need be, to lay down their lives for their community, and they put themselves in that position.
Yeah, this was a domestic violence call. I don't know the nature of the call. I don't know
Those are always,
circumstances, but they received a call that there was a domestic violence and they responded. And I'm sure that it was, I'm just assuming that it was probably initially two, because at least around here, that's a two deputy response.
yeah.
And there was gunfire. There was probably officer in trouble. I don't know. I'm speculating. But in any case, they all arrived. And I just looked, it was actually five were involved, only four were injured. There was a highway patrol lieutenant who was on scene, but wasn't injured. And yeah, they're just regular people. They're just
So,
regular dudes who went to work.
So I want to break this down and give our insights that maybe not every that some things that we might take for granted. Like they were at a squad meeting probably a couple hours before this happened. Some of those deputies were at a squad meeting and give that mentality of their sergeant read over the notes of the day and maybe there was a manning issue, maybe there was a staffing issue.
I'll tell you, the morning that Robert Coonsey was killed,
Yeah.
I we made fun of each other in the squad room because of our mustaches,
Yeah.
because we both looked like child molesters. And he was on first shift, I was on third shift. So I went home, he went on to work. And there's a good likelihood that that's how their morning started.
Yes.
They had a squad meeting, like you said. Some of them maybe straggled out. Some of them maybe were go getters. Maybe they had things to do. Maybe they had soccer practice after work. Who knows? But their morning started out with no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And every day you're kind of, yeah. And I would say every day you think about that, but maybe I know it seems like some guys don't think about that. Like they're almost in neutral. They're not thinking that today could be my last. Sometimes they are. A lot of times they are, but maybe sometimes they're just thinking about the bills or they're thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the argument they had with their old lady before leaving.
This was you probably did this better than most, I'm assuming, and you probably almost certainly had to do it in the military. But had you come to a point where you made a decision that you obviously you don't want to lose your life, but like you'd made a mental, emotional, coherent decision, I may die and I'm willing to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple times. A couple times, and in retrospect, it's never as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. But like it was always to go help another person. Like I remember one time, there was this ended up being nothing. It was so funny, but there was this came out as an injury accident up in one beat. My buddy Vince was up on one beat and I was on eight, so we were right next to each other. And I went lights and sirens to back him. He was going lights and sirens. It was on his, but I went lights and sirens to get there. And I ended up getting there before him because I was closer. And there was this car rolled over on its side in the ditch, and it came out as an injury accident. And when I rolled up, there was people, and like the hood was smoking, and there was people on the outside going, "Oh my God, there's someone in there!" And I heard "Help, help" on the inside. So I said, "Hey, Aid, I'm on scene. I'm going in to help. I hear someone in there. I'm going in to see what I can do." Hey, that was it. Well, I climb up on the side of this car and it's smoking, and I think I'm about to pull someone out of this burning car and save this person's life.
You're like, hey, could somebody give me a camera just real quick?
Somebody
Thanks.
quick, somebody quick, get my light, my light. Um, well, I opened the door. This is funny. And what perfect. This is perfect for my ego too, because as cool as I started to sound, it was a younger, heavier gal, and I was at an angle where I could not deadlift her out of there. I was
Yeah.
like, "Give me your hand, give me your hand." She's like, "Here, here." I'm like, "Let's slow down." Are
It's
you
too
hurt?
late. You're too heavy.
I'm like, "Let's slow down." Are you hurt? She's like, "No, I'm not hurt." I'm like, "You're gonna need to stay there."
Well, you're about to be. Come on.
Well, then I get up, I stand up, and I'm not gonna say his name. But the normal, he was normally the one beat deputy. He was snarky and he didn't like me. He was a big DUI hunter on third
Yes.
shift.
Yes.
He was there when I stood up after failing of saving the day. I stood up and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm eight. I'm here backing up one." He was like, "You don't come all the way up here." And anyway, started lecturing me about like where I'm supposed to be. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I don't need to be here. Eight. I'm 10-8. Boom. I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah. Do you have anyone off the top of your head? Any
No,
nominations?
no, but the internet is ripe. And these are wholesome stories because there's no angle that we're gonna take with these stories. There's no cultural, definitely no ethnic or racial or like identity marker tied to this. This is just people.
If you're a badass, you're a badass, and it
You're
doesn't
a
matter.
badass.
It doesn't matter whether you're gay, LGBTQIA, black, white, Hispanic, Asian.
What your
Uh,
religion is.
if you're a badass, you're a badass.
We could even be going back. I would like to go back in history and tell some, maybe Daniel Boone might make some of his stories, his exploits
He was
might
he was
make.
probably a badass.
He definitely had some badass moments.
He had some tendencies, didn't he?
He'd had some badass tendencies. Okay. Well, that was our first hour. I really want to hit on these current events. Let's just bro
Are
science.
there
Let's
are
just
there even current events happening?
Yeah, I mean a
Oh,
few. There are three.
oh, oh! I missed them.
There
I
are
thought
three.
I thought everybody just kind of took a break from current events or from doing shit, like just kind of.
That's healthy. Is that what you're doing? Are you taking a break from current events?
Dude, I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
That is part of actually one of the things I'm doing is I'm just staying off my phone as much as possible because I tend to every every quiet moment I pick up my phone.
Yeah.
If I got a long stretch of road, pick up my phone. If I'm going to the urinal, I'm looking at my phone. If I'm in an elevator, I'm looking, and I just kind of have stopped that.
Okay.
So I don't know what's happened in the world except that Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob.
But evidently,
Evidently,
that was the email leak. Oh man. Well, okay. Do we need to talk about this is the Thanksgiving episode. Our listeners, if you've
oh
made it this far, do we need to
yeah,
talk about I mean, we all know
the Great
Thanksgiving
Pumpkin.
story was bullshit, right?
You're talking about the Great Pumpkin, or you're talking about the
The
pilgrims
Pilgrims and
having
Indians.
having a having a lovely Thanksgiving meal together
I think the
with
traditional story is they come here, the pilgrims are stupid, they don't know what to do, they starve, and then the Indians come, bring wild venison, show
yes,
them how to plant corn with I think specifically with fish heads underneath the corn as fertilizer
and then they have a lovely meal with a cornucopia full of fruits and veggies and turkeys.
and turkeys.
I'm not sure where the turkeys came from. I'm not sure how that entered the story,
I don't know either.
but I assume, yeah, I don't know why we. Uh, somebody should Google, not right now, but we should find out why we eat turkey on Thanksgiving. That seems like a Googleable question.
Sure, and I feel like I've heard different versions of this, but I think it all comes down to like a lot of the American tradition foods are post World War II marketing propaganda. Like basic, breakfast was invented, like pretty much the way we understand breakfast was invented after World War II.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like
By by the
but
grain industry.
by like Mad Men, by capitalists, by like Hallmark and Mad Men, these people that designed what post-war America was going to look like. That's these people that every driveway needed a Ford in it. Every house needed a washer and a dryer. Get rid of your garden, go to the grocery store. Get rid of your knowledge of what your grandma taught you and go to the doctor for everything. The leaning away from your own understanding and onto or leaning away from the natural remedies and the natural knowledge and onto the social teat is when all that happened.
That social teat.
The
That
social
social
teat.
teat will get you what you need.
It's
It,
it's a double-edged teat. The teat gives and the teat takes away.
it does, Clark. Um, I, this is a long article. Kind of, I hate it when I Google a simple question and I
Oh,
go
that's
to a
fine.
website and like, just tell me the answer. I don't need all of the backstory.
What's your
I'm bored.
question?
Why do we eat turkey on Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Who knows?
And and the consensus that I found is that the Pilgrims did not eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
Probably not.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Um, yeah. So that
So
I mean,
let's
just go ahead.
let's skip that. Let's talk about current events.
Okay, that's fine. The current event I wanted to start off talking about, man, don't you hate it? I'm 41 years old, and if there's a little skin tag that like I need to nip at or pull at, I'm kind of pull it.
Nip it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that. Yeah.
Um, where are we at with Epstein disclosure? Do you know? Like
I,
what is the state of affairs with
I,
Epstein disclosure?
I came across two things today. One of them said that the that there was something happened in court or Congress. I don't know. Something happened where the full Epstein list was going to be disclosed. The next thing I saw a couple hours later said that Pam Bond, there was something else that was activated that allowed Pam Bondi to redact the whatever was released for the sake of ongoing investigations, national security, or there's another.
They're
Uh,
protecting victims, is what they're saying.
and so when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, then nothing. So literally nothing happened. I can expect to see nothing. That's where I
Well,
stopped.
Uh, effectively, kind of. I mean, that's a very black-pilled view, and it might be that I definitely don't think it's going to be nothing. I think there is going to be something. I don't think we're going to get all of what they know. I mean, you have to understand. You
We
have
never will.
to just know most of it's been destroyed, right? Like all the real smoking guns has been long destroyed. They did
Oh.
not let that. So whatever's left is still going to be heavily redacted, and you're only going to get the scraps of that. But even that, I think, is better than nothing.
But can you trust? Can you even trust what we do get? Because clearly, anything that survived wouldn't have implicated anybody in charge, anybody in authority over the past two presidencies. Certainly, anything that we get isn't going to implicate anybody in charge today.
This has been
So, like,
happening since 1996. There's been
but
six
so
different presidencies involved. Yeah.
so wouldn't it have been being scrubbed throughout the past
Yeah.
9 years?
Yeah.
You said
I
it's been
mean,
happening how long? Since 2006 or 16?
1996.
Good Lord.
1996 is when the first federal complaints were made by these victims.
Yeah. So kind of makes me think that uh, when Dan Bongino or Cash Patel say there's nothing here, there may be nothing here, not because there wasn't there, but because it's been destroyed
It's
over the
nothing there
past.
now.
Yeah.
Well, even that still was not true. Like even that still was a lie because the problem is there's a public record. Like a lot of this has already been disclosed. We already know about Jeffrey Epstein. So about Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with like the owner of the Victoria's Secret, the owner, the heads of these banks, the relationship he had with these uh, multimedia media figures like Ghislaine Maxwell's father, or these intelligence liaisons that he had with the CIA, with MI6, with the Mossad. What so like there's already public knowledge. Like these things have already come to the light in this way or that way. So it's so insulting when wonky-eyed Cash fucking Patel gets on there and says, there is nothing to investigate. And if there was, I would let you know. Like, hey, dude, I know that's not true. Now you're just insulting my intelligence and you're insulting everyone's intelligence, is what it seems like. But man, some people sure are so willing to bend over.
So what is the official latest, or at least what's your understanding of what's happened over the past week or so?
So as of yesterday, the House of Representatives voted, I think it was 416 to 1.
And do you know who that one was?
Who?
That was Captain Clay Higgins, Louisiana. I think it was Louisiana Highway Patrol. Were you aware of him?
Uh-uh.
He portrayed himself as a real badass, former cop. He did all these. He might. Oh, I think it was a sheriff's office because I think he was campaigning for a sheriff. But he was talking about getting rid of these criminals and being hardcore, law
Did he say
enforcement.
why he didn't vote for it?
No, no.
Oh.
All I saw was that there was one vote against it, and it was him.
I did hear a commentary on it in passing, and now I wish that I had heard more of it or took a note. But it was along the lines of like it wasn't he didn't go far enough. Like he was one of those. It was one of those votes.
I do think actually what I heard was that his contention was that it would bring people back into the spotlight that had already been exonerated,
Yeah.
which is bullshit because if if you've already been exonerated, well, that evidence is still there. Like you
Well,
don't, just because your name gets brought up again, like
that's
you
something I think is real important to point out. What you're painting is that the victims that they're protecting are now the accused assaulters. Like those are the victims that they're protecting because all of the actual victims are on the White House front lawn and on the front lawn of the legislator's office saying release the files. The,
demanding transparency,
yeah,
demanding disclosure.
so Mike Johnson saying that he's protecting the victims. The only victims he's protecting are the accused assaulters. Those are the only people he's protecting. Those are
Yes.
the only identities. By the way, the Clintons, I think again, they were supposed to appear. Both Bill and Hillary got subpoenaed in congressional hearings about Epstein dispositions, and both of them were no shows. They decided they didn't need to go to their hearing.
Yeah.
So
There's probably a level of power where you can just ignore a deposition.
I think so.
It's not you and I, but there's
No.
probably a level where you could just say, I don't want to do that. No
Eh.
thanks.
Nah, I don't think I'm going
Hard,
to answer those questions.
hard pass.
So the latest was that it passed 416 in the House of Representatives. It then had to go to the Senate. And last night, Mike Johnson, I watched this today. Mike Johnson was talking to reporters last night. Oh, and the only thing that changed, Mike Johnson had been fighting Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ro Khanna, AOC, like a handful of Republicans and a handful of Democrats had been pulling for this disclosure, but most of the House representatives had been opposed to it. And leading the opposition was the Speaker, Mike Johnson, and he gave that bullshit about protecting the victims. But Trump was also leading the charge of like, are we still talking about this? It's a Democrat hoax. Actually, it was an Obama hoax. Um, well, what happened was yesterday, maybe the night before last, Trump got on True Social and said, "Hey, release the hounds. Vote to." All of a sudden, he flipped the script and said, "You can all vote to pass the Epstein disclosure." So they all voted for it yesterday. The House of Representatives did. Last night, Mike Johnson was talking to some reporters and said, "I hope the Senate puts the guardrails in there that we weren't able to do in the House, and they're able to do that in there before they too hastily pass it through there without these guardrails." I think the guardrails would just be protecting more of the accused in there. Um, well, the Senate did not put any extra guardrails in it. They voted and passed it unanimously today. So
Okay. And what exactly is it they're voting on releasing?
all supposed to be all information that the federal government has on the Epstein case.
Okay.
But I think, and this is what Thomas Massey was talking about with some reporters that I saw on he released on his social media today, is that there are still some guardrails where Pam Bondi and the Attorney General's office can redact and block and pick and choose what gets released.
So, you and I are both we're much in favor of it, and
Mhm.
I think that both of us agree that it's bullshit and that it's protecting politicians and the elite, and it's not protecting victims and all of this kind of stuff. And so we would we would say release it all, everything
Yeah.
you've got, release it all. If if the investigation concludes or shows that it was an operation from a foreign government, is that could somebody, like, if you knew that, because I'm willing to say there's a lot that we don't know.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that is way above our pay grade, but is it possible that there could be something like that really you do need to keep under wraps for national security, or what?
Maybe, man. At least, at least, I don't know, man. I don't know because there's an ethical and like a moralistic part of that question too. I would say that definitely does not get released. Like anything that implies definitely our greatest ally does not get released. Um,
Shouldn't or won't?
I didn't say shouldn't. I said won't. Um, I think all secrets by nature are a form of deception. Right, wrong, maybe it might be necessary, but I think secrets in nature are deceptive. Um, Especially when it comes to s- information that the public should have. Like you would think the public should know if another government is affecting our elected leaders and if my vote actually counts or not. That should be something that the population should know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's not an easy answer to this.
Yeah,
That's that's why the founding fathers wanted this whole system to be slow and deliberate.
I guess if even if the release of the information revealed that our government was fully corrupt from the top to the bottom, if it I mean if it needs to be overturned, if the entire swamp needs to be drained, then
Yeah.
drain it.
Then drain it.
like
That's right.
so if it reveals to us that our system is flawed or it's bullshit or whatever, okay, at least tell the truth. At least let
Like
us know what we're dealing with.
Like the now deceased real victim of Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking scheme, Virginia Giuffre, claimed both Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew as assaulters of hers. Um, Man, if you're willing to take on a monarch, like someone theoretically in line for the throne of England, I know that would never, whatever. I don't know their Dungeons and Dragons system, but
Do they still have
like,
serfs?
yeah, if you're willing to take on like a potential head of state, definitely Bill Clinton is a former head of state. If you're willing to call out them, you got to be willing to call out everybody, homie. If it's You got to be
Yeah.
willing to pull the plug on everything. And that you have to think about that on why was Trump so nervous about releasing this? Why did he fight it for so long?
Why was he initially, when he was campaigning, that was one of his things?
He must have thought that it would have never, he must have thought, I'm going to campaign on this, but it's never gonna release. We're never gonna show.
Maybe he thought he had one thing that I think is very clear in both of his presidencies is he doesn't have he doesn't have people as deep in his pocket as he thinks.
Well, right. He turned on people, man. He has this reputation that kind of goes back to his business days, his real estate days of not taking care of the people that work for him. Not taking care of like he has reputation of like not paying contractors and underbidding and not paying people. He does not take care of his supporters. Marjorie
Yeah.
Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
a couple other people.
How long ago was that Marjorie Taylor Greene Tim Dillon episode? That wasn't
Oh,
that long. That wasn't that just like a month or
a
so?
month ago. Yeah.
And she was very supportive of him.
She has
Like
been for years, for like
like
6 years.
she was in his corner.
Yeah.
She simply demanded, from what I remember, she was simply demanding the release of the Epstein list.
And she wanted an explanation on APAC's relationship with members of Congress.
She made it very clear that she made it clear that she didn't support him no matter what, but she
Yeah.
believed that he was trying to do the right thing or that he was doing the right thing, whatever it was. And then she pushed too hard and he said, "You're out."
He railroaded her. And what's funny is all these people that he surrounded himself with, like Mike Johnson and even JD Vance and a lot of these other big Republicans that are around him, a couple years ago, like even in his last term, they were never Trumpers. They were Republicans that were not Trump supporters. They were, and like Lindsey Graham was a never Trumper until there was no option to where you had to be MAGA. And then he got his pom poms and put on his lipstick, and he
I
was,
don't I don't trust that dude. That
oh,
dude,
he's
not that he trusts
slimy.
anybody, but that guy gives me bad vibes.
Lindsey Graham,
Yeah.
snake in the fucking grass.
So
So
what else? What else? What other current events do we got? Or do we have more going on with that?
no, I mean Epstein disclosure, and we kind of dived into Trump sucks dicks. The dicks that he was sucking, and I'm saying dix. At least that sounds so it doesn't sound as vulgar, at least in my mind. Trump sucks dicks. Uh yes, yes, yes. Um that's gonna be a short. That uh turns out it wasn't the Bubba reference in the email. So what this was an exchange of emails between Jeffrey Epstein's brother and Jeffrey Epstein. And I guess Jeffrey Epstein was asking his brother to ask Putin if he still has the picture of Trump blowing Bubba. And everyone thought that, including ourselves on the last episode, was that Bubba was Bill Clinton because that's what the media was saying, and I don't fucking know. So, but it turns out it's not Bill Clinton. It's another guy that now
Oh,
escapes me, but he was a billionaire business owner and piece of shit like all the rest of them. He was a guy who would have been going to Epstein Island.
I didn't realize that. I thought even at the beginning of this episode, I thought that it was Bill Clinton.
No, it's not. It's not that Bill.
Uh,
It's
that's
not that Bubba.
disappointing.
It is
That's
a
just,
little.
that's the one dick I wanted him to suck.
But how perfect is it that the self-described John Wayne figure, MAGA, leader that Donald Trump is, actually, which, I'm not judging anyone. I think God bless him if that's what he likes to do. You know what I mean?
Right,
There's no
right,
judgment on me. But just how funny.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
don't
it's like
act
Lindsey Graham.
right.
Like, don't tell me about how your prowess as this. Yeah, there's enough there. Let's break down um, Mitch McConnell and maybe just the cultural war on legal THC that comes from hemp.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mitch McConnell doesn't know anything about the experience of or use of legal THC. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he has no either direct or close to direct knowledge of it.
No, 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 no. There's been no CBD or any type of THC or cannabis or hemp product in his life ever.
Yeah,
But, then again, he comes from a class and privilege that maybe he wouldn't need it, or at least he definitely wouldn't
yeah,
think that he needs it.
yeah, for sure.
You know,
I guarantee you that he or someone very close to him could very easily get whatever alternative or even the real thing anytime.
yeah, Mitch,
Anytime.
Delta 8. Mitch, you don't need Delta 8. We can get you
I
heroin.
mean,
We can get you Xanax.
yeah, we can get you straight opium.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We don't need this. We got China White in the back.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it was disclosed that, let me see if I have the article here. I'd like to read a headline. And Chet is being woke on me. He's saying it's
Fucking
not
shit.
confirmed. Yeah, it is, Chet.
It's
Don't
confirmed enough.
confirmed enough. Fuck you, Chet
Spill that tea.
GPT. Anyway, from 900 or like I said, less than $900,000, like $890,000 from Jack Daniels from their lobby, from a PAC, from a political activist group or coalition, and it was
Why would that be? Why would they give him close to $1 million for
oh
supporting that bill?
well because I mean people buy less alcohol whenever they're under the influence of THC.
So they stand to lose money
They
if this bill, if legal THC remains legal.
Yeah, if it remains available, something that, yeah, something that doesn't make them money. And here, I mean, it's just another shining example of they do not care what's best for you because legal THC, A, is taxed the hell out of. They tax the hell out of it. It's a big revenue raiser for the government. It doesn't cost you, the consumer, a lot, not compared to a 750 of Jack Daniels, which is $35, 35, 45, $50 for a 750 of Jack Daniels. Gram of weed is like $5 to $10 a gram of weed. And that's for mid to nice stuff of whatever.
And a gram of weed is more likely to you're more likely to uncover things and solve your own problems and open your
Work on some
mind
shit.
and grow and evolve, whereas a fifth of Jack Daniels isn't going to solve shit.
No.
You're only going to use more of it. It's
Yeah.
only going to cause more. And I'm no teetotaler. However, it's obvious to me what's happening.
Yeah.
Like as people divert their money from Jack Daniels or alcohol industry in general, and they move it to whether psychedelics or just marijuana, THC, not only are they not using them now, but they're losing future revenue too because
That's right.
you're solving your own problems.
That's right. And these kids aren't growing up seeing their parents drown their problems away or seeing their uncle or whatever drown their problems away. They're not getting that exposure even on TV and in the sitcoms anymore. You're more
Yeah.
likely to see a show like Disjointed where they share a THC pen and pass it around than you are to see someone at a bar like Cheers. Cheers can't be around today. That doesn't exist
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that it's an industry that is, no pun intended, is drowning, and they stand to lose a lot of money if this legal THC remains legal.
That's right. And your politicians, your elected officials like Mitch McConnell, and it's not just Mitch McConnell, it's in states all over, like Alabama and Georgia and Texas, and pretty sure Oklahoma, they're passing forms of criminalizing these legal forms of THC. Just
What
nuts.
what what is the argument that they're making for, like, what's I don't trust them. I don't believe them. But what is the argument that they say it's too dangerous? We got to make it illegal.
I don't know. Um, I don't know what their argument is, except for the fact, I mean, the really only leg that they have to stand on is that it's taking revenue away from them. Because everyone knows that it's less harmful. Everyone knows that it's less impactful. Everyone knows that there's less of a social
There's less social
cost.
harm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Nancy Mace, I believe she's a Texas Democrat. Excuse me, and forgive me if I'm wrong on that. Introduced a bill to block the hemp THC ban that Trump signed into law. Good
Oh,
for
I thought he was gonna legalize regular marijuana.
he was supposed to. Well, turns out he's a fucking liar.
Oh, damn it.
The VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Veterans Organization, released a statement calling on Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader, so to have been a Democrat, um, John Toon, Senate Majority Leader, and Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, and basically condemned the THC ban and said that it provides natural forms of anxiety relief and stress relief and PTSD management tools for victims or for veterans of foreign wars and for first responders and that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty
So,
cool.
so is what's the current status? Is it federally illegal right now?
It has a year, so there's a year that they have to combat this. In
Okay.
that budget that punk ass, bitch ass, pussy ass Mitch McConnell put in there, this bill that he slipped in, or this part of it, it has a year to take effect. But a year from the government coming back online, which was what, a week ago? A year from that, as it stands right now, if nothing gets done, all CBD, all hemp products, your CBD balm that your grandma gets and rubs on her elbows, or all of that stuff you get for your dogs, it's all going to be illegal. All hemp products are going to be illegal.
But nothing has been taken off the shelves yet.
Nothing has been taken off the shelves yet. That's right.
Okay. All right. This is our 20-minute warning. So what, I think we had some more. Do we have another segment to go into?
No, no, that was it. That was
Okay.
it for the segments.
Okay. Uh, did you have one more current event?
No, no, we can get into any of that. We covered a lot of ground.
Well, one thing that we talked about a few weeks ago, and we could this is a segment that we can do just as needed, as I need to get things off my chest,
Sure.
called You Can't Do That.
You can't do
And
that.
yeah, and the thing that I like about this is you can say you can't do that, or you could say you can't do that. You could say you can't do that,
You
or you could
can't
say
do.
you can't do that. So depending on how we want it,
Huh.
what word we want to emphasize,
You
the
can't do that.
yeah, the way that I would describe it today would be you can't do that.
You
Okay.
can't do that.
And this is now keep in mind, we've talked about badasses and we support badasses. We support all sorts of badassery.
Right.
But listen to me and listen clearly.
Okay. Listen good.
If you're a badass and you're driving a badass motorcycle, that's
Right.
cool. That's
Right.
awesome.
You
If
can
you're
do that.
you can do that. You should do that.
You should do that.
If I'm several blocks away, whether I'm playing golf or going for a jog, whatever it is, I'm several blocks away and I hear your motorcycle coming. Okay.
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 It's getting annoying.
Loud pipe save lives. Okay, I'll deal with that. But check it out. I don't want to hear fucking Def Leppard over your motorcycle. You
Yeah.
made the decision to buy a motorcycle that I hear from 3 blocks away and is making me deaf as it passes me. Okay,
Pour
if
some sugar
if
on
you want to listen to
it.
Def Leppard, put your fucking headphones in or drive a normal bike, drive a truck. I don't care, but I don't want to hear both. You
Yeah.
can't do that. And that because Stone Cold said so.
You can't do that.
And that's the bottom line. That's what it is.
Now, I do something that might be a little dangerous, and it might be not the smartest thing, but I do it, and I've even done it recently.
I find that so hard to believe that you would do something that wasn't the smartest thing.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know that I believe you, but go ahead.
I will ride my bicycle wearing my Beats headphones. My bicycle on the road.
Okay.
But I'll be wearing my Beats headphones.
Noise canceling?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't.
That's like playing in traffic with like vision canceling glasses. I'm just having a great time. I know there's traffic out here somewhere, but I can't see them and I can't hear them.
I would say that there is a mode where you can turn it on where like it's actually ambient noise amplifying.
But the way you said that,
I don't have it in that mode. No.
And probably never have.
I'm
At least
trying
not when
to
you're in
hear the
traffic.
distortion on Electric Wizard when I can't be having ambient noise interfering with that
car
shit.
horns and trains and whatnot.
I'm listening to a sick riff, guys. I can't hear your honk horn right now.
I meant to ask you.
All better. Look at that.
Oh, nice. And you went on a bike ride today?
Yesterday.
Or yesterday?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, buddy. Did you have any accidents?
Nope. Didn't leave my neighborhood.
Okay.
I went back and forth, and there's actually a couple cul-de-sacs where there's construction going on, where I had been riding my bicycle into those cul-de-sacs, but this time I thought, nah, we're not even gonna, because I lost it on loose gravel, and I know there is loose gravel down there, so I'm not even gonna relive that right now. So
was there any apprehension, or were you just like, nah, I'm a badass, I can do it, I'm good?
I thought, Clayton, you look good, you smell good, and gosh darn it, you can do this. Your mother's proud of you. Let's go. And I took my pants into my socks and I went down that hill.
Did you actually tuck your pants in your socks?
No, I didn't wear a helmet. Ashley got pissed at me for wearing a helmet. She's like, wear a helmet. Cut after that, right?
But then you were like, baby, I'm not a bitch.
I said, do you think this wreck turned me gay? Which is not the same. That's not the disparaging kind of gay.
Correct. So you stayed in the neighborhood, no issues. You reclaimed your position and your authority over that bike.
That's right. I'm in charge of you, bicycle. I'm in charge of you. No one's gonna. I'm in charge.
But in that scenario, if you're playing Def Leppard, I would be like, hey, shut the fuck up. But I wouldn't be mad about it
Right.
because it's not both, right? Like you can have the loud pipes and no music, and I'll be like, hey, shut the fuck up. Or you can have just the Def Leppard. But if you have both, then we got
We got
Pilgrim,
problems.
Pilgrim,
Pilgrims?
you and me got a problem.
Pilgrim? Dude, I think this has been a great Thanksgiving episode.
Oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
I think
Yes,
people definitely got their money's worth on this episode.
sure. And hopefully they by now you've purchased your coffee from Laughing Goat Coffee. You'll have gotten your money's worth from them. You've got your money's worth from us because
So
you haven't.
some things are on the horizon. I think we can talk about this, or let's even hint at some theoreticals.
Okay.
Theoretically, hinting in the future, something 2026 could bring is maybe some merchandise in the future.
Merch, dog.
Some merch.
Merch. I'm about that merch.
We're going on to a more professional, a more produced season in podcasts in Lawless Podcasts lifespan right now, and part of that is we're going to be introducing some merch. What are you thinking? Just off the hip, I'm thinking hoodies, t-shirts.
Can I tell you? I, mm,
Just go
I,
ahead.
I hesitate to tell you this because I'm excited about it. It's a surprise. I got you and T Bone some Garbage Boys merch.
What?
It should be coming in the mail. It said it'd be here by the 26th, but it said it shipped yesterday, which was super fast. And I've already got some merch started, and it's going to be coming your if you're a good boy.
Okay.
If you mind your P's and Q's, say your prayers, and eat your veggies,
Oh, okay.
uh, you may get one for Christmas.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't want to know. I don't want you to ruin that surprise. Shirts, hoodies. I was thinking some running shorts, and that's good to start us off for now. Shirts, hoodies, and running shorts.
I dig
That's
it.
easily printable, easily screen. I'm thinking either white on black or black on white, and it's just gonna have the Lawless logo.
I dig that. Yeah.
That'll be coming around. I want to remind everyone about the segments and any type of communication with the podcast. You can do it through DMs on our socials, but I don't it's not as guaranteed as the email address. Use podcastlawless@gmail.com. If you want to guarantee that we're going to check your correspondence, use our email address.
And just a quick recap: we're talking about the Lawless Bible Study
Lawless Bible Study.
and the Lawless Confessions.
Lawless Confessions. Also, if you have any types of questions, comments, concerns, if you want to partner with us in any professional ways for sponsors or ads, that's how you'd get in contact with us. Um, what else, my friend? Is there anything that we missed?
No, I do believe that by the on the day you're potentially this on the day that this came out,
Turkey
I
Day.
believe that Kansas City is playing. I'm pretty sure they're playing on Thanksgiving Day this year. Based on the season, I don't expect them to win that game, but go KC if they are in fact playing. I think they are.
The New York Times just posted a thing that says Trump announced on social media that he signed legislation calling on Justice Department to release its files on Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days. But Trump's signature does not guarantee the release of all files. The bill contains a significant exceptions that include a provision protecting ongoing investigations. But see, there should be no ongoing investigations because Cash said there's nothing there.
What is there to investigate? There's obviously no evidence.
Many documents would stay under the wraps.
Hmm.
Um,
I did confirm they're playing the Cowboys, so at least
Cowboys.
that should be a win. We gotta win out. I think to
It's the Cowboys and Indians. That's the Thanksgiving game. Cowboys versus
Amen.
Indians.
Amen. That's providence right there. That the
Yeah,
Lord had His hand in that.
that's right.
And so, I guess that doesn't necessarily bode well for the Chiefs, but maybe we can reverse history.
I know we're on our way out, but let me just brag on my OU Sooners. They're 8-2. They beat Alabama this past Saturday, number 4 ranked Alabama. OU is undefeated against ranked teams this year. I think they should have a legitimate shot at the college football playoffs. I think.
When do they start making those decisions? Who's going to what bowl game?
They're making it now, and it's based off of like not just if you won, but how you won, and like you beat them, but they beat that guy. They're making those decisions now.
Okay, and that's generally going to be, is that New Year's Day?
It's yeah, or
Okay,
one. Some of the bowls are. Yeah,
but the championship would be.
I think usually it's in like February, isn't it,
Um,
or
I
January?
you know I've wanted to get into college football. I never really have, and I think it's
Yeah,
just because there's so many options. Unless you've got like for me, the natural option would be K State, but K State fans, most of them, except our listeners, K State fans that don't subscribe to the Lawless podcast are just
right. Not
obnoxious to me.
yeah, yeah. Not you guys. If you happen to be a K-State fan, not you,
Yeah,
but
you're
all of
cool.
the other ones
It's the other ones. They're
are
just
just
most of them are
fucking retard. I mean, yeah, just
obnoxious.
ridiculous.
Yes.
I went to an OU K-State game, and K-State scheduled OU as their homecoming game. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
bitch.
golly,
How'd
what?
that work
Oh,
out?
yeah, how'd that work out, K-State? Jeez. Um,
Probably as well as can be expected.
oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, hey, I think this has been a great episode. Like, heart, share, subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you know how to get a hold of us. Listen, practice the tools you have in your toolbox today. Today can be a little stressful. Maybe it's the end of a long Thanksgiving day. Maybe it's the beginning. Either way, you got tools in your toolbox. Use them. If all else fails, follow your breath, right?
Word.
Word.
Yes. And have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Have a blessed Thanksgiving. This is Lawless. Love you guys. Bye bye.
Peace.